Salutations, this is Graham Tavel. Welcome to our Let's Play of Sid Meier's Civilization 6. It's about 17 minutes after midnight Eastern Daylight Time. So this game came out 17 minutes ago. I was able to play it. It set up, installed whatever I needed to do. I set the resolution, made sure it was recording okay. And here we go. Civilization 6. I've been waiting for this game for a long time, as I'm sure many of you have. We're going to do single player, of course, and create game with our own settings, create game with our own settings here. Now we're going to choose a civilization, and this might be most of the episode because I do want to go through every civilization and make sure, kind of show everybody what's available in Civ 6, just in case you don't have this game yet. So let's see. I believe there are multiple leaders that you can pick per civilization, or it may just be that multiple leaders, you can play against multiple leaders per civilization. I'm not sure. Or maybe that's something that's going to happen in the future. Let's see. Prince difficulty is pretty standard. So I have watched a couple of Let's Plays of this game in the developers build. However, this is not the developer's build. The game probably has changed a few things since then. And in that developer's build that I watched, obviously I haven't played, it only allowed Prince difficulty. I think we're going to up that to King. Now, I'd say King and not harder because, again, this is not a game that I've played before. And when I play Civilization 1 through 5 in the past, I generally... I don't play very competitively. It's always like by myself, and I am not used to playing on very high difficulties on Civ. That said, it's much more fun and interesting, I think, to play on higher difficulties. I think I'm a little more mature about that sort of thing now. But I don't want to get too hard. I don't want to be completely overwhelmed the first time I play this game. So I think King will be a nice balance. We'll find out. Obviously, we don't really know the big differences between the difficulties here. Game speed, definitely standard. The map type... I think for our first game, we will do continents. I haven't seen fractal, but that's interesting. Inland sea is one large ocean in the center of the map. That's pretty interesting. So like Pangaea, but with a big ocean in the middle. I guess. Island plate. I've seen island plates. Fractal sounds interesting, but I think we're going to go with continents. And the map size, do we do standard? For 8 players or 6 players? I think we do standard. And so what civ do we want? So here we go. Catherine de' Medici of France. So the thing is, the leaders in Civ 6, if you don't know about Civ 6 yet, one of the big differences between it and 5 is that the leaders, depending on what civilization you pick, there are some very, very significant differences between each civilization. That is pretty different. There are also significant differences in the wonders that you can build. They are much more powerful because they actually take up a hex around your city when you build them. So you are limited to the number you can build, and you sacrifice other spaces where you could build districts or resources. And if you don't know about districts, that's the other huge thing that they've added in Civilization 6. But anyway, here's Catherine de' Medici. So with her, you get plus 20% production towards medieval. This music is kind of bothering me, actually. Let me go back and lower this a little bit. Pretty much turned it off here, maybe. That's fine. Yeah, that was bothering me a bit. Okay. Whoops. Create game. So we have Catherine de' Medici. Production towards medieval Renaissance and industrial era. Wonders. Wonders is interesting. Tourism from wonders of any era is doubled. So that's nice if you're going for a cultural victory. And Flying Squadron is a unit. I don't want the units. They can be a big difference, but I think I'm not going to go over those as much. I'm more interested in the other things that leaders can give you. Guard Imperial is an industrial. Oh, that's the melee unit. So what is the Flying Squadron? Has 1 level of diplomatic visibility greater than normal with every civilization she's met. Receives capacity to build an extra spy. Is that something you can build? Is the Flying Squadron something you can build? That's interesting. And a chateau unlocks the builder ability to construct a chateau unique to France. So you get additional culture if you're next to a wonder, and gold if next to a luxury resource. Can only be built adjacent to rivers. Oh, that's what the chateau does. I see. Interesting. All right. And how about you, Cleopatra? Production towards districts and wonders are placed next to a river. Interesting. So with Catherine de' Medici, it's just medieval, Renaissance, and industrial. And with Cleopatra, it's less production, but it's at any era. But it has to be next to a river. Floodplains do not block placement of districts and wonders. Trade routes provide additional gold. Other civilizations' trade routes to you provide additional gold and food. You get a unique archer, a heavy chariot archer. You get the Sphinx, which is a unique to Egypt. I don't know what that replaces. That's interesting. And the builder constructs the Sphinx. So I guess that's like a district. Interesting. +1 faith and +1 culture, +2 faith if next to a wonder. Maybe it replaces a holy site? That's interesting. Cannot be built next to another sphinx. Oh, you can build multiple. Interesting. So that's good for for faith, I guess. And again, I don't know what kind of victory we're going to pursue. I think we're just going to kind of play it by ear. Frederick Barbarossa is Germany. He can has free imperial cities, so each city can build one more district than usual, exceeding the normal limit based on population. So districts, each city can build one more. So districts are, you can only build a certain number of districts, I think, per your city size, and Germany has a has a higher cap for that. So if you're really into building districts earlier, that's a really nice thing to do. Holy Roman Emperor gives you an additional military policy slot. U-boat, German unique modern era naval unit. Okay, it replaces the submarine. And the Hansa, which is a district unit, a district unique to Germany for industrial activity. So that's pretty nice, pretty industrious. Gandhi for India. The Dharma ability receives follower belief bonuses in a city from each religion that has at least one follower. From each religion that has at least one follower. That's interesting. The Satyagraha gives additional faith, a lot of faith, for each civilization, including yourself, that they have met that has founded a religion and is not currently at war. So you like other people being at religion that are peaceful with you, if you are India, it seems like. Opposing civilizations receive double the war wariness for fighting against you. So it encourages people to be peaceful with you. Indian unique classical, they have a Varu, which is a unit that replaces the horseman. The stepwell unlocks the builder ability to construct a stepwell, which gives you additional food and housing and faith if adjacent to a holy site district. So this is definitely a religious gameplay. And it's very good if you want to play a more peaceful sort of game because it discourages people from attacking you. So Sumeria is an interesting civilization to play. I mean, just because I don't think you've been able to play Sumeria before. Maybe in one of the expansions, I'm not sure. And Gilgamesh is the leader here. The ability is epic quest. When you capture a barbarian outpost, you receive a tribal village reward in addition to the usual gold pay. That's could be nice early in the game. Pay half the usual cost to levy city-state units. Right, so in Civ 6, city-states don't just give you units if they're allied with you. You actually pay them to be able to use their units. Adventurers of Enkidu may declare war on anyone at war with their allies without warmonger penalties. So that's very nice if you want to play an aggressive game because there will, you might... especially later in the game, warmonger penalties, I think, go really, really high. And if you're able to start wars with people without warmonger penalties, if you want to do a military conquest in this game, that might be very nice without lowering your score or without making other civilizations hate you. Without war with a common foe, they and their allies share pillage rewards. Oh, that's interesting, too. And share combat experience gains if within 5 tiles. Wow, that is, yeah, so you can see these special abilities are very unique and very, very interesting. Some of them are very different. Warcart replaces what? It's an anti-cavalry unit. Okay, and the Ziggurat is their special building. It unlocks the builder ability to construct a ziggurat. Okay, and the Ziggurat gives you additional science and culture if next to a river. Cannot be built on hills. Additional science is nice. So we have Greece here and Gorgo. Hold on. I know that I've seen other. Oh yeah. So here's another Greek civilization. So there are multiple leaders per civilization, but that's Greece, right? There's Pericles for Greece, and then we also have Gorgo for Greece. But then we have here Teddy Roosevelt for America, but I don't think there is another United States of America leader. So some have two, and some don't. It looks like. All right. I mean, obviously, there will probably be expansions that change some of that. So anyway, Gorgo gives you an extra wildcard policy slot in any government, which is very nice. Combat victories provide culture bonus equal to 50% of the combat strength of the defeated unit. That's also very nice if you're a little more militaristic, yet also going for culture. A spearman replacement unit and a district unique for the Acropolis replaces the theater square. Sounds good. Then we have Norway, and Norway has an interesting ability. All units are able to enter ocean tiles after you research shipbuilding, so a very early ocean exploration sort of things. I think, movement costs are you can ignore additional movement costs from embarking and disembarking, which can be huge if there is a lot of water around your map. Allow coastal raiding for all naval melee units. So obviously this is very good for a maritime sort of play style. A Viking longship. Oh, so two unique units, the Berserker and the longship. And you can build a stave church, which replaces holy... No, it's just a building you put in holy sites. And yeah. Okay, so it's an additional faith. Japan gives all districts an additional standard adjacency bonus for being adjacent to another district, which is very nice if you're into building districts. It improves them pretty quickly, very early on. There's an ability for additional combat strength, so very good militaristically. Samurai and the electronics factory, which increases production and culture, very nice. Then we have Aztec, which I think is only available if you pre-ordered the game, but I think only for the first 1 month or 3 months, something like that. But I did pre-order, so we do have the Aztecs. And the Aztec civilization, you can spend a builder charge to complete 20% of a district cost. So that's interesting. So I'm not sure. I think every builder, the standard builder gives you 3 charges. So if you build a builder, you automatically get 60% of a district done. And I guess you'd have to weigh, I don't know how much production it costs to make a builder compared to how much it costs to make just build the district outright. But then we have the, look at this, I can't move my mouse to show you, but look at the Eagle Warrior unit. Maybe we should have been looking at these units a little more carefully, and maybe you have, obviously. I just haven't been reading them. But the Eagle Warrior has a chance to capture other civilizations' military units by turning them into builders. And the Warrior is the very first military unit you get in the game. So basically playing as Aztecs really encourages you to build lots of warriors very early on, capture as many military units as you can with those warriors, so you get basically a giant horde of builders, and then use those builders to complete districts in your civilizations for an early district start. And I think that's pretty much has to be the Aztec strategy, to be able to really leverage the Legend of the Five Sons ability with the Eagle Warrior. Because otherwise the warrior is going to go, it's going to be deprecated very quickly. Luxury resources provide an amenity to 2 extra cities. Military units receive additional combat strength for each luxury resource. That's pretty cool. And there's a special building that provides an amenity, additional faith, and great general points. That's nice. The Congo is a very interesting civilization. They have... So obviously they get a huge bonus for every relic, artifact, and sculpture. Great work of art. Then you receive double points for pretty much 8 for most great people, except great prophets. You'll notice no great prophets there because the religious convert ability means you can't build holy site districts, which is crazy. That's a standard district. I think that means that you cannot pursue a faith victory a religious victory as the Congo. So you can't gain great profits, you can't found religions, but you gain all beliefs of any religion that has established itself as a majority of its cities, which is interesting, or in a majority of its cities. Receives an apostle every time he finishes a Mbanza or theater square district. Huh. So yeah, I don't know how you would play as religious victory, but you do get apostles, which is very interesting. So maybe you could do a religious victory using someone else's religion, which is really interesting. I'm not sure if we're going to go that route, but and the Mombasa district can be constructed in rainforest or woods. Replaces neighborhood district, but is available earlier. It replaces neighborhoods, and it provides a lot of additional housing, which is interesting. If neighborhoods are a late game district, but if you can get that earlier, you could really increase your population and get a head start, get a big advantage on that. All right, then we have Brazil. And Brazil, you get the Amazon. So rainforest tiles provide +1 adjacency bonus for campus, commercial hub, holy site, theater square districts. Rainforest tiles provide +1 housing for neighborhoods. That's pretty cool. So that's kind of like, so yeah, basically you want to build districts near rainforest, and you get a bunch of bonuses for that. After recruiting or patronizing a great person, patronizing means I think you can buy great people with faith or money. You get 20% of the, you get a refund on that. Oh, that's what recruiting does. Well, that's interesting. That's nice. So really good at getting great people and saving great people points. A unit that replaces the battleship, and a street carnival, which increases amenities in the and grants lots of amenities. So that's that'll help just keep amenities, keep your civilization happy. Then we have Pericles, which has the same. So that's extra wildcard policy slot in any government. Was the other Greek one the same? It was. Both have the Plato's Republic ability. So that's just a Greece thing. And then Pericles has Surrounded by Glory, unlike Gorgo. So Surrounded by Glory gives +5% culture per city-state you are the suzerain of. Suzerain means that you are basically like the lord of that city-state, as opposed to anyone else. Has a unit that replaces the spearman, just like this one also. And this also has the Acropolis. So the only difference is that ability. This is Surrounded by Glory, and Gorgo has Thermopylae. So it's basically this, and they're both culture-based. So it's interesting. That's interesting. I wonder when they're going to have more leaders to choose from for each civilization, because that's got to be some upcoming DLC, and it's probably not that difficult for them to implement. But just to have those like minor differences, like, oh, I want to play Greece again, but with that minor change. Then we have Peter for Russia. Russia gives you extra territory upon founding cities, which is pretty nice. So maybe that means you don't have to make a monument right when you build a new city. +1 faith and +1 production from tundra. Oh, so that's pretty interesting too. Production from tundra is very nice if you're in on near one of the poles of the map. Grand Embassy receives science or culture from trade routes to civilizations that are more advanced than you. So that's it, which means specifically +1 per 3 technologies or civics ahead. So that's only good if you're. So maybe that's good if you're playing like at a much higher difficulty, where other civilizations are almost guaranteed to be more advanced than you are, at least for part of the game. So Peter might be something that's good to play on like a very difficult difficulty level. Cossack replaces cavalry. The Lavra is a district for religious activity. Your city borders grow by 1 tile each time a great person is expended in the city. Interesting. So really into territory growth. Philip II, we already have. Then Spain is another one that has 2 leaders, isn't it? Oh, maybe not. I thought I saw another bull. I guess not. So Philip II, treasure fleet. You may build fleets and armadas earlier than usual. Trade routes between multiple continents receive bonus gold for routes to other civilizations, and bonus food and production between your own cities. So that's nice, and that encourages you to be more spread out with your cities if you want food and production from trade routes. Inquisitors can remove heresy one extra time, so Inquisitors are a religious unit, and they get an additional charge. Combat units can have a bonus of +4 combat strength against players following other religions. So, and +4 combat strength, I think, is very powerful early in the game, probably not so much later. Conquistador replaces the Musketman, and they have some interesting things about religious units also. If the Conquistador captures a city, the city automatically adopts the Conquistador player's religion. That's pretty interesting. So clearly Spain really pursues is built kind of for pursuing a religious victory. The mission unlocks the builder ability to construct a mission, which gives you plus faith and even more faith if you're on a different continent than your capital, and science. Very nice. Then we have China. Qin Shi Huang. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I did take Chinese in college, but none of it took. Dynastic cycle. Eurekas and inspirations provide 60% of civics and technologies instead of 50%. So Eurekas and inspirations are boosts that basically half the amount of time that you need to research a particular science or civic. And civics are basically like the science tree, but it's kind of just a different branch of it that has less to do with technology and more to do with, government and stuff like that. But in this case, if you are China, it's not half, it's 60%. So slightly better Eurekas and inspiration bonuses. When building ancient and classical wonders, you can spend builder charges to complete 50% of the original wonder cost. Ooh, that is and builders receive an additional charge. That's pretty huge. So it's 33% more builder charges at the beginning, assuming you have 3 to start. And you can really, if you have you can have 3 people build builders at the same time, like if you have 3 cities, and then have all of them use all of their charges to complete a wonder. I wonder if that works that way. So you could instantly build a wonder if you played your cards right. That is very interesting. So definitely could be very useful for building wonders playing China. Crouching Tiger is a ranged unit. Okay. And the Great Wall unlocks the builder's ability to construct the Great Wall unique to China. Okay, provides an increase to defense, bonus to gold if adjacent to other segments. Oh, so I see. So the Great Wall you can build kind of on various tiles and make it span across the map. Additional culture and tourism as you advance through the technology tree for adjacent segments. Additional culture and tourism as you advance through the technology tree. That is interesting. I wonder how that works. Must be built in a line across the borders of your empire. Very interesting civilization. Then we have Arabia with Saladin. The last prophet automatically receive the great prophet when the next to last one is claimed. Oh, interesting. So this is basically it's kind of replicating the founding of Islam, which just factually is one of the later great kind of the last huge great religion to be founded on Earth in Earth history. So it's basically saying once everyone else founded their religions, then you automatically found your religion if you are Arabia. That's interesting because that's what great prophets do. They basically found a religion in Civ 6. +1 science for each foreign city following whatever religion you pick. Righteousness of the faith, the worship building for their religion, can be purchased by any player for just 1/10 of the usual faith cost. That's 1/10 of the usual faith cost. The The worship building, wow. So it's 90% off? That's pretty crazy. The worship building is enhanced to add 10% to science, faith, and culture output. Okay, so obviously this is another civilization that is tailored for pursuing religious victories. Arabian unique. So the Mamluk is a medieval unit that replaces the knight. Heals at every turn. Very nice, even after moving or attacking. And the Madrasa gives bonus faith equal to the adjacency bonus of the campus district. So another interesting civilization. Teddy Roosevelt. I feel like America is the civ that like no one wants to play because civilization, you start in 4000 BC, like in ancient civilizations. This is one of the newest civilizations. For them to include like a civilization that was founded, a quote unquote civilization that was founded in 1776 is ridiculous. But I think it's been in every civilization game. But I feel like no one plays America because of that. That said, maybe that's a reason for us to do it. So Teddy Roosevelt in America gets founding fathers, earn all government legacy bonuses in half the usual time. Government legacy bonuses are when you choose a government, there are certain, you very slowly accrue what's called a legacy bonus. For example, if there's one government that you could get that every so many turns, you get like 1% increase to, or a 1% bonus to like building wonders, for example. And in this case, that amount of time to increase whatever that legacy bonus is for that government would be halved. The corollary, units receive combat strength on their home continent, +1 appeal to all tiles in a city with a national park. That's interesting. Gain the Rough Rider unique unit when they research the rifling technology. I like how all of these things are like super have to do with like the actual historical leaders and civilizations too. Rough Rider unique unit. I like that. You get the P-51 Mustang, which is an air unit that replaces the fighter. Additional flight range, additional experience too. The Rough Rider is a unique modern era unit, and it earns culture from kills earned on your capital continent, +10 strength when fighting on hills. And the film studio gives 100% tourism pressure from the city towards other civilizations in the modern era. That alone, if you're pursuing a cultural victory, might be huge. So that's interesting. The government legacy bonuses could be, by the late. I think America, as you would expect, shines in the late game, from what it sounds like here. Tomiris for Scythia, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, receives a second light cavalry unit or Saka horse archer each time you train a light cavalry unit or Saka horse archer. Okay, that's cool. So double cavalry units. So you want to, once you get to that stage in the game, you want to just churn those out as much as possible. Killer of Cyrus. Oh, okay. So I guess okay. All units receive additional combat strength when attacking wounded units, and when you eliminate a unit, you heal up to 50 hit points. That's interesting. So very warlike. Although I think, very warlike to play as it really encourages military. Horse archer is a unique classical unit. The Kurgan unlocks the builder ability to construct a Kurgan, which gives additional faith, gold, and additional faith for each adjacent pasture. Can't be built on hills. Okay. Then we have Trajan here for Rome. All cities you found or conquer start with a trading post. If in a trade route range of your capital, you also start with a road to it. Very, very powerful. Your trade routes earn an additional gold for passing through trade routes in your own cities. So longer trade routes are better. All cities starts with an additional city center building. Starts with a monument building in the ancient era. Also huge. That's just like, however, a free monument at the beginning in every city. You get the Legion, which replaces the Swordman. You get a bath, which replaces the Aqueduct. And that provides... it provides you with a source of fresh water from an adjacent river, city or lake or oasis or mountain. Cities that do not yet have existing fresh water receive up to 6 housing, etc., etc. Very cool. And last but not least, we have Victoria in England. British Museum. Each archaeological museum holds 6 artifacts instead of 3 and can support 2 archaeologists at once. Archaeological museums are automatically themed when they have 6 artifacts. So I think those are very powerful for a culture of victory, and those are late game things. Pax Britannica, all found or conquered cities on a continent other than your home continent receive a free melee unit. Interesting. So really encourages you to be militaristic outside of your own continent and expand the British Empire. Gain the Red Coat unique unit when the military science technology is researched. And the Red Coat gives combat strength when fighting on a continent other than your own, than your capital one. Okay. Sea Dog is a naval unit, replaces the privateer, and it can capture enemy ships. That is huge if you want, if you're fighting naval. To be able to capture enemy ships instead of destroying them outright, I guess this would have to be right around this would only work in the Renaissance era. So in the Renaissance era, you have the ability to basically just take over the seas, which is pretty amazing. Royal Navy Dockyard, a district unique to England for naval activity, replaces the harbor. And it gives you additional movement for all naval units built in the dockyard. Gold when built on a foreign continent, and trade route capacity. Very, very nice here. What if I do advanced setup here? Does that give us... Oh, no, that just does that. And let's make sure this is back on king. Okay, so what do we do? What do we do here? I think of all of these, well... Honestly, it's kind of hard for me to choose. And this being the very first game I play, I'm probably going to play badly. And because I'm probably going to play badly, and all of these are just so very different. And there is no like one play style that I have for Civilization. I might just do a random leader. I honestly might do that, and just whatever it gives us, we're just gonna play that way. And if it gives us someone that's that's kind of tailored for faith, we might go faith. Tailored for culture, we'll go for tourism. Tailored for military, we might do military. No one seems particularly tailored, I noticed, for science victory. Some things like this, for Gilgamesh, you do get additional science for like that building, but none of the special abilities really seem to affect science that much. I guess Peter does in Russia. Receive science or culture from trade routes to civilizations more, and that's for the more advanced. Yeah, what a weird ability. I really love that. If you want to build wonders for China, that sounds really amazing. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? Because this is the pre-release, and because we can, I think I'm going to do Aztecs. Just because, like, I feel special that I pre-ordered. I'm sure most people playing this game have probably pre-ordered. That said, I kind of like this idea of being very, very aggressive. Like, basically, you got to get all your aggression out super early, and after you're done with that, you can pretty much like you get theoretically you would get a better start than the other civilizations around you, and then you don't get really much else special after that. You just have that better start, and then you go whatever path you want to take, and that is very interesting. So I'm going to do it. We're going to play the Aztecs. King difficulty. Do I want to do king difficulty? Do I want to do prince? Now we're going to do king. And we're going to do standard map. Continent standard. Okay. That's it. I'm going to start the game. And I'm just going to start this game, but we're not going to really play any turns until the next episode. Here we go.
From the first stirrings of life beneath water,
Sean Bean,
to the great beasts of the Stone Age, to man taking his first upright steps, you have come far. Now begins your greatest quest. From this early cradle of civilization on towards the stars.
Wonderful.
Tlatoani Montezuma. Keep your eagle warriors happy and fed.
He pronounced that very well.
And they will forever fight for your cause.
You wonder how many takes they have to do for some of these names.
Across the land, you will never want
it's just Sean
to
Bean.
raise your walls.
There's another voice actress that does the advisor, I think.
Loyal workers as you conquer those around you. Go forth. Hutzliapuchli calls.
Hutzliapuchli. Puchtli. Hutzliapuchli. I need to hear him say that again. Hutzliapuchli. Is that a god? I guess an Aztec god, maybe. I don't know. I don't know too much about Aztec culture. Um, okay, very cool. So just to reiterate what we're doing here, luxury resources give you. So we definitely want to settle near luxury resources because that gives us additional amenities and also additional military strength. So we definitely want to seek out those. And then we get the Eagle Warrior and the Tlachli. Okay, let's see what kind of start we have here.
Greetings, my liege.
Oh, thank you.
As your personal advisor, I am qualified to assist you in all matters related to ruling our civilization. I am at your service.
Thank you very much, advisor. Okay, so it looks like we start near, what is that, tea? Yeah, we start near tea. I don't know if that's a luxury resource. I imagine that it must be, which is great. We have milk, we have, excuse me, we have stone, we have rice. It looks like a lot of resources here. We are even have some mountains here, which is really great for certain districts. And it looks like we started with some expanded borders here. It looks like. I'm not sure. In any case, it looks like this start is pretty great. In any case, we're not going to take any turns. This is going to be the first episode, so I hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, we are going to continue this Let's Play and actually play the game. But that first episode was just the character survey to let everyone know like what characters were available and picking the character that we did. So, you know, please keep watching the series if you want to see the gameplay. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a like. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share this Let's Play, this series. Obviously, the more the merrier. I'd love to hear your comments. Let me know what you think, what direction you might want to see this game go in, what kind of really stupid things that I missed because I'm a bad player. And yeah, I enjoyed playing with you today, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.